Good morning, boys and girls. This is the first video where I'm going to kind of break down the packets that you guys have into little lessons, and I'm going to review what we've learned to kind of refresh your memory so that you can do that day's lesson with no problem. You might see my dog Coco in the back just chilling. So she's here for the lesson with us. So, first of all, every day in your packet it says that the daily things you can do, that means each day, is to read a book of your choice, so any book that you'd like, and talk about what happened or what you learned from the story. So you can tell that to a parent, to a family member, to a stuffed animal. That's something that you can do each day. Also, write your capital or lowercase letters as fast as you can and time yourself. So see how fast you can do that. But when you do that, I want you to remember, we don't want it to look sloppy. You still need to be making the letters correctly, because if we're rushing through like this, that's no good. You might do it fast, but that is not good. So we want to make sure that you are taking the time to make the letters correctly, not just as fast as you can. Okay? That's another thing that you can do each and every day. Something else that you can do is choose one of the math games to play with at least one partner. So at the end of the first packet and at the end of the second packet, there's a bunch of math games. You can pick one of those and play that with someone. That's something that you can do every day. And then, of course, Dreambox. So those are the daily things we can do. Now let's get started with today's packet. So today is packet number 2, day 1. So the first thing that it asks us to do, if I look away, it's because I'm looking at my other screen, I have the packet pulled up, is we're going to read a poem. So the poem for today is, I wrote it up here, Play on the Sand. So I'm going to read it to you first, and then I'm going to give you the directions for today. So, play on the sand. Splash, waves in, waves out, children running all about. Sticks and shovels digging holes, filling up empty bowls. Sun is shining very bright, way up high. Do you see the kite? Twisting, turning up so high, blowing through the summer sky. Time for lunch, and we must sit, enjoying each and every bit. Feet in the water to keep us cool, watching animals in the tide pool. Being at the beach is a treat, a great way to beat the heat. Wishing we could always stay to play on the sand every day. And I know if I was reading this to you guys in class, I'd have a bunch of you raising your hand going, what kind of words are in this poem? Rhyming words. And that's exactly what has to do with what today's packet is asking you to do. So what you're going to do is you are going to read that poem to someone or a stuffed animal. So you're going to read that poem. Then you are going to circle any rhyming words. So, for example, the first few parts of this poem are splash, waves in, waves out, children running, all about. So see if you can tell me what 2 words rhyme. Out and about. So you would circle those 2 words, but you're going to do that for the whole poem. You're going to reread the poem and circle the words that rhyme with each other. Then, for every word that you circle, you're going to create a new rhyming word. You're going to say another word that rhymes with that word. So, to review rhyming words, up here, what we have the reason that these 3 words rhyme, hide, ride, side, is because their middle and ending sounds are the same. They all have "ide" in them. The only difference is the beginning sound. Hide starts with that H, ride with a R, and side with an S. That's the only difference. When words rhyme, the middle and ending sounds are the same. So in the poem we said out and about rhyme. Their middle and endings are both out. The only difference is out doesn't have a beginning sound, and about just has that A and B for their beginning sound. So the same middle and ending. That's how we know words rhyme. So, for example, if we were looking at the words tip and stop. Do those words rhyme? I want you to practice just like our phonemic awareness. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Does tip and stop rhyme? No, they do not. They have the same ending sound. They both end in P, but their middle sounds are not the same. Tip has an I for its vowel, and stop has an O for its vowel. So these words do not rhyme. Okay? So when you are reading this poem, you are listening for those middle and ending sounds. If the beginning sound is different and that's it, those words rhyme. And then you need to circle them and come up with more words that would rhyme with that word. So that's what we're doing for the first. That's for your reading activity today. For writing, the packet is asking you to write about your favorite place to go and what you like to do there. Remember to add pictures. So when we're writing, we are not Mrs. Savage and Mr. Overton always, and I'm sure all of the first grade teachers always tell you, we're not going to write sentences that all start with the same word. I like the beach. I like the sand. I like the waves. No, we're too smart for that. We know lots of different words and we can start our sentences in lots of different ways. So, and we want to make sure in every sentence you have all of the parts there. So if you are going to say, my favorite place to go is if you were going to say my favorite place to go is my grandmother's house, that is a full sentence. We know that you are talking about your favorite place, which goes along with what the packet is asking you. We have a period at the end. Our sentences always need to end in either a period if it's a sentence, a question mark if it's a question. There always has to be something at the end. We've got a, what kind of letter at the beginning? Capital letter. Our sentences always start with a capital letter. I want you to take your time with the writing. Make sure it's your best work. Your handwriting matters. This is the perfect time while we're all at home and not at school to really take your time and do your best work so that when we do come back to school, you're ready to go. You haven't been not practicing because then it would be tough when you get back to school and we've got to kind of catch up. But if we're working at home and practicing, you're going to be a-okay. So my favorite place to go is my grandmother's house. The place is grandmother's house. We know that. So that's great. You need to make sure that you have all the parts of a sentence. It's a full thought. We wouldn't just say grandmother's house. That's not a full sentence. My favorite place to go is my grandmother's house. And then I want even more detail. Tell me why it's your favorite. Tell me what you like to do there. We want to know, you need to pretend like the person that you're writing for has never met you. So they want to know, why is your grandmother's house your favorite? What do you do there? What makes it your favorite? So that's your writing part of the packet today. You are going to write about your favorite place and tell what you like to do there. Don't forget that part. Why is it your favorite and what you like to do there with a picture. For math today, so it's asking that you write down the name of the game you chose. So remember at the beginning I said there's math games at the end of the first and second packet. Pick one of those, play with a friend, and write that game title down. The next thing we're going to do, before I read you the word problem that's on the packet, we're going to do a different one together. So let me erase what we had up here because we're done with that. And the problem that I am going to write for you says, okay, we're going to practice a word sentence of our own, or a word problem of our own, excuse me. Mrs. Savage has 12 Skittles. 5 are red and the rest are yellow. How many Skittles are yellow? So think really quickly about how you would solve this problem. Think about the parts that we know. And think about the part that we need to know. So I'm going to use numbers and pictures to help me solve this problem. So what helps me sometimes is I like to fill in the parts that I can. That way I know what I'm looking for. So Mrs. Savage has 12 Skittles. That's 12 Skittles in all. That's the total. If that's the total, I know that's going over here. It's how many I have in all. 5 are red, so that's part. That's one of the parts of my whole. This is my whole number. 5 is one of the parts that get me my whole. 5 are red and the rest are yellow. How many Skittles are yellow? So I know if I take my 5 red and I add however many yellow I have, that gives me my whole of 12 Skittles. So I'm going to be putting things together to get that number. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my yellow Skittles. This is my red. This is my yellow. And this is my whole number all together. So what I'm going to do, told you I'm going to use numbers and pictures. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red Skittles. Now I don't have a yellow marker, but that's okay. Now, if I have 5, do I need to count these one at a time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? No, I know there are 5 there. So I'm just going to count on. What number am I going to stop at? Think about it. What's my whole? Do I need to go past 12? No, because I know I only have 12 Skittles. So I'm going to count on. I'm going to start at 5 because I know that's how many I already have. I for sure have 5 Skittles. So I have 5 red. Let me start counting on to figure out how many yellow we have. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do I need to keep going? I only have 12. So I think I'm good to stop there. I don't have any more than that. So let me count how many Skittles I added that would be my yellow Skittles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me check if that's right. When I add up my 5 red and my 7 yellow, do I get 12 as my whole number? So I know there's 5 there. Not going to recount, not going to count one at a time. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, I ended up with 12. So 5 plus 7 must give me 12. My question was how many Skittles are yellow? My answer would be 7 yellow Skittles. Perfect. So now that's just one that we did together for practice. On your packet, it says solve the following word problem on paper and explain your thinking with pictures, numbers, and words. So you can use the strategy that I did. I used pictures, numbers, and some words to show my thinking. So yours is a number sentence that's very similar. It just has different words. So I'm going to write it up here, and we're just going to read it together. Then you are going to do the work on your own. So this one is okay. So the problem that you are going to do on your own is our flag has 13 stripes. 7 are red and the rest are white. How many stripes are white? So think about how I solved the problem that we did together and think about how you might be able to use those strategies to solve this one on your own. Pictures, numbers, and words, and I'll read it one more time to you. Our flag has 13 stripes. 7 are red and the rest are white. How many stripes are white? Think about what you know from the problem, what parts of the problem are given to you, and what you need to solve. So that's your math word problem today. Then it says, Dreambox, give the name of the games you played on Dreambox. So we should all remember how to log on to Dreambox, and it just wants you to write down the games that you play. For science today, it says we are going to take a walk outside, and I think it's supposed to be nice again. Yesterday was a super nice day. I think it's supposed to be pretty warm out again today. So it says take a walk outside and observe, means to look at, different flowers. What do you think that part of the flower, that part is for? What do you think that What do you think that part is for, and why do you think that plants have flowers? So what we're going to do is we are going to review the parts of a flower first. Before we read, there's a flower page that we're going to read, but first we're going to review the different parts of a flower. So first, when we're looking at a flower, here's our grass. There's where the soil comes. Here's our leaf. Remember, I am not an artiste, but that's okay. Okay. When we're looking at a flower, there are different parts that are very important to help the flower grow and survive. So, the first part that we are going to talk about are these pieces down here. They kind of look like little hairs that are coming from where the plant is on the soil, and they reach out into the soil. So think about what you think the job is of that part of the plant. Think about what that job might be. That part of the plant is called the roots. And the job that the roots have is they absorb. That means that they take in water that's in the soil, which soil is like the dirt. It absorbs the water and the nutrients. So the healthy stuff for the plants that's in the soil, it soaks it up and gets it to the plant so that it can use that water and nutrients to grow. And it also holds the plant in place. When we have wind and things, maybe a storm, the roots hold the plant in the ground. So the job of the roots, soak up the nutrients and water from the soil and to hold the plant in place. Perfect. So then we have this long, tall part of the plant. Think about what you think the job of that part might be. Why do you think it stands the way it does, and what do you think it could help do for the plant? That part of the plant, so right here I'm going to draw an arrow, is called the stem. And the stem's job is to move the water and nutrients that the roots soak up. It's to move them up and down the plant so that the plant can get the water and nutrients to all its parts. And it helps the plant to hold and stand tall. So it's not bending and folding over. The stem helps the plant to stand tall, and it helps to carry the water and nutrients that the roots soak in to the rest of the plant. So that's the job of the stem. Then we have these, which are the leaves. So the leaves of the plant, every part of the plant has an important job, but the leaves do too. So their job is to use sunlight to make food for the plant. So when the sun shines on the plant, the leaves have a very special job. They take that sunlight and they're able to turn it into food for the plant. So that's the leaves' job. Then we have our flower. The flower's job is to make the plant's seeds. And the seeds are important. So the flower, it looks pretty, it smells pretty, but its most important job is to make those seeds for the flower. If a plant has a fruit on it, not all plants have fruit, but if a plant makes fruit, the fruit's job is to hold the seeds, and some can be eaten. So if you're eating a strawberry and you see the seeds on the outside of the strawberry, The strawberry is the fruit, and we said its job is to hold the seeds. So that is what the strawberry does. It has all the plant seeds on it. And can we eat those seeds? Yes, we can, because when you eat a strawberry, you are eating the seeds. So that's an example of a fruit that has the seeds on the outside. A cherry and a peach, they have the seed on the inside. So those are fruits, so their job is to hold the seed, and sometimes we said they can be eaten, the fruit. So we said the flower makes seeds, fruits hold the seed. What's the job of the seed? The seed stores food, and it makes it so that a new plant can grow. So if this flower makes a seed and it gets blown to the ground, or it gets moved somewhere by the wind, right here, that seed gets right here. That seed is holding food so that a new plant can grow. So then we would start the process of growing a whole new plant like this. So it would start to grow up and start to grow roots down so that it could start a whole new plant. So that's the fruits hold the seed, flowers also make seeds, and the seeds help store food to make a whole new plant. So what we can use that information for is it's asked you to take a walk outside and look at different flowers. What do you think that part is for? So it's asking you what you think the flower part of a plant is for. We just talked about that, so hopefully you'll be able to write that down. It also says, why do you think, that plants have flowers? So we also talked about that, why they have flowers. So hopefully you'll be able to answer that. The next thing says, read the page flowers. Answer the following questions with someone. So that's this part of your packet. And I'll read it to you, and then you'll read it to yourself. Flowers. Flowers come in many colors, shapes, and sizes. Flower buds grow on the stem of a plant. The buds open and flowers bloom. So the bud is the beginnings of the flower. So when a flower is just starting to grow, it's very small and it's called a bud. And from the bud, it blooms into a flower. So I'll read that one more time to you, and then I want you to read it to yourself. Flowers come in many colors, shapes, and sizes. Flower buds grow on the stem of a plant. They grow on the stem. The buds open and flowers bloom. So read that to yourself now, and then you're going to answer some questions. And the questions are on your packet. One of them is, have you learned about flowers? Well, we can answer that now. What is the job of flowers? Why is that job important for a plant? How do the stem, leaves, and flowers work together? So those are some great questions, and those are some that we just talked about. So hopefully you'll be able to take what we learned together and put those toward your packet so that you can work smoothly through your packet today with no problem. So I'll be in contact. Me and Mr. Overton will, of course, be in contact. And I'll be back on here tomorrow to kind of break down tomorrow's day for the packet. So remember, today was packet number 2, day 1. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.